Hey there, it is April 12th, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Realtor.com and see what listings we have available. I know in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, they did get about 5 inches of snow over the past few days up in the eastern UP, and this week it looks like they will be getting a lot of rain, so hoping that the properties up there start shedding their snow. We have 116 acres up in the Newberry area, and we can't get in there yet with our camper. So we are anxiously awaiting for the rain and the sunshine to melt away the snow. So I'm going to get to it and take a look and see what listings we have. So in Realtor.com, I am going to search Michigan. I'm going to look for, I'm just going to do default 200,000. I'm going to take off hiding and contingent. I'm going to just go ahead and look for 20 acres or more, and we'll just see what we have here. And I'm looking at Michigan altogether here, so I'm going to go to the map. And I like to zoom in on the UP so you can see all the listings for 200,000 or less with 20 acres or more over the whole state. Pretty good amount. This is everything, so everything that's not under contract. Today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a drawing tool here. So I'm going to take my Michigan search criteria away, and then you get this drawing tool, and you literally just click your mouse and drag, and I'm gonna I'll go over to this kind of area, let's see, and I'm just gonna stick with this up here. St. Ignace is okay. We'll just stick right in here. And then when you let go of your mouse, it highlights the area. And the best benefit of this is if you tend to zoom in and out with your mouse wheel like I do, it doesn't change your listings over here. Once you get them in there, they're in there. So I'm going to go ahead and sort by newest. And anything that says new was listed within the last 2 weeks. So there's 110 acres for 152,000. 80 acres for 60,000. And this is over south of Marquette, this one. That's a good area. There are a couple townships over there that do not have zoning regulations. So this was listed yesterday. Let me see what just says Gwynn, I don't think. Let me see if I can see the townships. Or maybe it's city. Forsyth. Yeah, that is not one of the ones I'm aware of that has zoning. It is recreational, which is great. Recreational is probably your best bet to have the least amount of zoning required. All right, so this is vacant land. Let's see how many. It doesn't say. There's no pictures, just this one. There's some water. Looks like Johnson Lake Road, parcel 6. So it sounds like they have a large parcel and they're gonna split it or something when they have a number like that. So there's Gwynn, so just south of town. There's a main road over here. There's a road here. It's like a 2-track, or maybe that's a power line or a train track. So you always gotta watch, like, how am I going to get to this thing? A lot of the roads are not really roads. So let's see what this says. 80 acres of mixed terrain offer plenty of building sites and recreational opportunities close to thousands acres of state land. Additional picks will be available once the snow is gone. Yeah, they still have a lot of snow up there. People are still snowmobiling. I can't believe it. Like, it's just crazy. Okay. That looks like a very promising one, though. If you want something off-grid, most likely that's going to be off-grid. You can do a lot with 80 acres. We have 116, and it is just amazing, like how far you can walk before you get to the back, and it's cool. So here's another one. Probably the same people, right? Same picture. So they're selling off a larger tract of land. Another one, and another one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those are great. Those are really great. And if you act quickly, you can have your pick. So they have a bunch of 80 acres, some 40 acres, 80, 40, a couple, yeah, quite a few 40s, a few 80s. That's nice. This one is 88,000 for 40 in Scandia. So you can see when I hover, the little white circle comes up. This one looks like it's on a main road, which would be really nice. 40 acres, Scandia, 7 days. Year-round road with power available. 15 must be miles or minutes from Marquette. This one's nice. This is the kind of property we were looking for when we bought ours. We wanted something, essentially, we wanted to be able to have the opportunity to get power if we wanted. But most importantly, we were looking to have cell signal because I work from home and need to have internet connection. So we were able to find something close to a cell tower. And also they're putting fiber internet on in our area now. A lot of the UP is getting fiber internet, which is a great option. But we did end up getting a Starlink, which works pretty well, just as a backup to the cell tower. Or I should say now, you pay $120 a month for Starlink. The Starlink is our primary, and then the cell tower is kind of a backup for us. But I did use it for quite a few weeks until we decided to go ahead and just get Starlink. So 20 acres for 90. This one is a long, skinny one. This one's been listed for a little while. I've seen this one before. This is 25 days. I'm not a big fan of these long, skinny ones myself, but it'd be okay, I guess, depending on what your neighbors are, Take a look at satellite. Oh, a bed and breakfast. Okay. So yeah, you got people across the street and people on both sides, and then you're in this little strip in the middle. Yeah, that's probably why it hasn't sold right away. Most people looking for land want something kind of out in the open, no neighbors. Brimley, if you want a field, looks like a mostly field. 20 acres for 92. It's a little pricey. So it is recently logged. Ample space, cleared areas. Yeah. Doesn't really say a whole lot. Get some pictures. So it's on like a dirt road. Kind of looks maybe like it was plowed. I didn't see most listings will say if it's a seasonal road or not, which was for us. We did not want to have a seasonal road. I didn't see anything in here. It says easy access to main road, so it sounds like you can get to this year-round. Additional acreage available, so if you wanted more than 20 acres, you could get that. So that one's not too bad. Here, let me go on the map. Scandia. So you're by Marquette Airport, straight across from that. So Marquette would be your closest town. And if you were coming from, the bridge, it's let's see, an hour and a half or so, maybe to Newberry, maybe another hour, so a couple hours. And then if you needed groceries, if you came this way, you could stop in Manistee. They have a nice grocery store there, and then you could just go up to your camp. Be pretty nice. We are anxiously awaiting the snow to melt. We're making our list of things we want to do. This one looks pretty good. This one is kind of in an area with other houses. Kind of. There's some on the same street, I guess is what I'm saying. This is not too bad of an area. McMillan. We always go to the Triangle. There it is. If you haven't been to the Triangle restaurant, we like it. We go there every time we come up to our property. They have a nice little salad bar and specials, and they don't really ever have steaks. Is the only thing I would say that's not good about it. If you want a steak, you want to go to this Timber Charlie's in Newberry. They have steak there. And the other place we like to go is up by Pine Stump. We like to go to Wolf Inn, and we've rode our snowmobiles there. We've rode our side-by-side there. It's pretty fun. Lots of fun things to do in the UP. We're going to try and get to the Bear. Where's the Bear place? Oswald's Bear Ranch. We've never been there. Have you been there? Tell me what you like or don't like about it. I'm curious. We haven't been there, so we're going to try and get there this year. We saw the puppy place. When you're going to Tacoma Falls, there's this puppy place right here, I think maybe. They have puppies. You can go and pet the puppies. It looks interesting. We did not stop, but it looked like they had a pretty good business this past summer. So yeah, let's see what else. So these are all older, so not a lot. See, for me, when we were looking for property, I was pretty much in the cheap range. So I want to say I usually search for 60,000. We ended up paying more than that, but so I would always search 60,000, and I would search high pending, yes, any is fine, and then I would search. I kind of jumped around because we were in the ballpark of we wanted more than 5, but we didn't know. We never had any idea we were going to buy 116 acres. Like, that's just crazy. But we were trying to do like more than 5 to see what we had. And we definitely didn't want HOA, so I always put that in. And I think that's it. So this is the kind of search I would do. And we literally would be looking at the whole UP. We were even looking at property over this way. This is a real nice area for snowmobile trails and, Porcupine Mountains, and there's skiing. And so we were looking over here, but everything that we looked at was a wetland. So if it came up and it was in our price range, then we would look. But I would just start like, okay, I want 20 acres, and I'd start with that. And then I'd look at all of these, and I would usually we're in the Lower Peninsula as our primary residence, so we would want to come up the bridge and then drive, right? So I would start here and I would say, okay, what's this? 49,000 for 40. So this is the one that is in the Newberry area, and it's been on the market a long time because it is wet. And I even think they have a picture of cattails, maybe, or maybe they took it off. I think this one's wet though. Or no, I'm sorry. This is the one that is you have to walk over state land. That's what that one is. Maybe they sold the wet one. I didn't see the wet one. Let me take this off and just peek because I don't see it. Or maybe the price is wrong. There was one right in here that was, maybe they sold it or maybe they decided to cut their losses and they can't sell it. Not sure. Okay. But anyway, that's what I would do. I would start with my price. I would start with, a high acres. We wanted to get some acres, and then I would just look and see, okay, what do we got? So this one, you got to walk over state land. This is the one, oh, look at that, pending. This has definitely got some water to it. Good for them because that was for sale when we were looking, and I think they relisted it since then. Yeah, so that's good. Somebody's getting a good deal on some hunting land. So that's why I always take off pending because it can be super annoying. So if you're not paying attention, you'll be looking at something and you can't buy it. So I'm looking at 60,000, not under contract, 20 acres or more. So there's like nothing there. And then you just scooch over and then you just keep on looking. And I don't know, these ones always seem to be big lots that they're splitting into little lots and they're not always so great. 38,000 for 40, that is a deal. There's a big water source there. 7 saves this week. Trees. If you want to see a lot of trees, go to the UP. This one has been for sale for a long time. So this one, it's low terrain, so this is good hunting land. And then depending on how you need to get to it would be the only concern. Hunting land is great, but like how do you drive your car into it, right? Or your truck or whatever. There's the water. And then sometimes it's just hard to tell where they don't always show the little roads, the 2-track roads. Yeah, so this looks like the main road, and then there must be some kind of, yeah, here you go. These little tiny roads, these little dirt 2-track camp roads, so I don't know how you get to this bugger. It's way off there. It's been listed a long time. They would probably even take, seasonal dirt. They would probably even take, a better price. So the directions will tell you a lot if you go into this detail. So from M28 and H13, head south on H13 for 16 miles, turn right onto 440, follow 440 for 5 miles, and turn right onto Plank Road, follow Plank Road for 4 miles, and turn property on your right. Okay, Autrain Township. Okay, and then down here under property history, there's no history. So this is the first time they've listed it. It's not been for sale in the last few years. Otherwise it would show here. So that's good to know. But yeah, it's probably a good opportunity. I would probably even offer 30 for it and see what they said if you were interested in getting something like that. So that was when we looked at Plank Road. That's Plank Road 2, Plank Road. And then this area down in here, so this area somewhere in here is where the no zoning is. Look at this one, 40 for 40. 10 saves this week. I'm surprised this one is still listed, but I believe this one has some wetlands. I looked it up before. There was something, state land. This is nice though. Like everything is nice if you can walk the land and see if it's okay. I mean, you could get power. There's power lines, but I don't know whether you can build on it or anything. That's all. And then the zoning, right? What zoning is it? So there must be something not quite as nice as everybody would like. Otherwise, it'd be sold. The properties that are really nice, they'll sell within like 2 weeks. You'll see they're gone. So, see, this one I thought didn't look too bad either. It's just a little bit more south than what I would like, but 20 acres for 39,000 is pretty good. Already it has an easement to access, so you have to drive through somebody else's land. This has a fifth wheel camper, hunting land, off grid. So this is like behind somebody else's land, I think, is kind of the deal with it. It's been for sale for a while, but it'd be doable. I don't think it looks too bad. I'd have to definitely walk it, especially when they left their camper and stuff. That's pretty cool. Kind of a head start. Tools. Yeah, you might find all kinds of goodies in here. Yeah. Always, 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 when you're going to buy something, you want to look at the wetlands map, and you want to walk the property, like every inch of it. And you always want to look and see what's around the area. So like literally there's the camper and stuff. That's kind of funny. So it is way off the road. It is kind of close to civilization, right? There's a lodge there. And then let's see. Yeah, you're not too far. There's a bunch. Escanaba. That wouldn't be a bad area, really. It's pretty nice. And then if you go into layers, you can see, I wouldn't rely on this heavily, but I mean, it's not really in a flood area. You'd just be kind of looking at the wetlands map. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm going to pull up wetlands map viewer. I'm not sure who manages this or what this Department of Energy, Great Lakes and Energy is or here. So this was by Escanaba, and it said Cornwall. The trick is finding some of this stuff, so I usually turn off this, and you can search. So I'm going to put in that town, Delta County. Oop, I was off a bit. All right, let me try and figure out. This is a little bit of a trick to figure out where these go. So I'm going to turn it back on map. I'm going to turn off the flood zone. So Cornell's down here. So here's this river, and there's a road that goes up, and it is by that loop out there. River. And I am not good at this. Okay, so where this river turns and there's this I road, it's like over here's the property, but when I zoom in, there's no more roads showing. So it is let me see where the river, here's the river. And then there's another one that goes up over Mosquito Creek. It's like right where one splits off, but I don't know. So I'm thinking it's like in here, which you can't really see the road. So this isn't going to be great, but oops, not that one. We want, I've been using this one, part 303, part 303, final wetlands inventory. And it's going to tell you Michigan Department of Lakes does not use all this disclaimer stuff. So we were looking at the river. You see what I mean? Like you can't tell what the heck you're looking at now. So like right here, and I can't click it and get the same place. So maybe. So you definitely need to walk the property and see what's going on. The main issue is that if you want to build anything, and anything over 200 square feet in Michigan requires a building permit. And if you want to do a septic or well or anything, you have to have the land tested. So this is where this would come in effect. Anything in a wetlands is protected, and they will not let you build on it. So that's why you want to check what's going on. So this one may be kind of iffy about where it's at and if you can build or not. So this camping scenario is probably maybe the best use case of the land if it was a wetlands for hunting and whatever. So yeah, so I think this is really a great property. I think if you, here's kind of a better, so from this road you can take this one up to here, and there's your lot. So that looks, I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. This would have been something I would have been in, but you just have to live off a generator or solar panels or something. And whether or not there's a cell tower there, that's the other thing you can do. There's a website called Cell Mapper, and this also takes some getting used to. I haven't looked at it in a while. Let me see how we can do here. So, whoops, I clicked on something. Okay, so here, so you gotta leave this little box here or it won't work. It puts you in the middle of the ocean for whatever reason. And I'm gonna just zoom into this area, and you can search. So that was Cornell, Michigan. So there's Cornell. So as you zoom out, it will show you here. Let's put a provider in. So I have Verizon. Oops. I think it used to let you type. It's not letting me type. So I'm just going to pick Verizon United States, and we'll see. So what happens is where there's a tower, it'll show you green, and it tells you all this stuff about bands and whatever. So now if I search for Cornell, which is in there, right? So Cornell, then when you zoom out, you can see there's no towers in Cornell. That area is not great for cell towers. So you can see, like here's a tower, and you can see kind of by the green how far it reaches. That's how you kind of use that map. It's not very easy to use for sure. So this would definitely be off-grid Starlink kind of a place if you needed it, or if you're just going to hunt, who cares, right? Don't need your phone. Take a paper map with you in case you go venturing around. So this property looks nice, $39,000 for 20 acres. Nice hunting property, off-grid property. You wouldn't be too far from doing all the things in the UP. So yeah, that's what I had today. Just taking a look to see what's going on. Mid-April here, we still have a lot of snow up there. We're waiting patiently. All right, thanks.